Okay, I have a really quick message for someone. You're going to know if this is for you because you probably felt some need to click on it, some resonance. And this message is about surrender versus force. And so the way this was coming through was I heard, and actually I'm experiencing it. I heard, I feel off. I felt really, really good. And now I feel off. Okay. So maybe you're someone who has been doing a lot of visualization. Maybe you've been practicing conscious thinking and just really attempting to train your nervous system to feel comfortable in a state of goodness, in a state of ease and just inner peace. Okay. And just like kind of an unconditional joy, not something that you only allow yourself to feel if something happens, some physical thing manifests or whatever, but just a joy that you're teaching yourself how to feel right here, right now. Because you've learned that's the thing that you've been missing. It's not a physical thing that you're missing, it's permission to feel good and to feel safe, feeling good. Because for someone, this goes all the way back into childhood. I know I this is absolutely my story too. So I'm speaking to a collective here, a collective that I'm a part of. And this goes back to our childhood where we were just being, we were feeling joy, we were playing, right? And then because of the dysfunction around us, that would get interrupted. That would get, it would feel like it got taken away, if you will, because the image for me that came to me last night, whenever I was really having some revelations about this myself, was images of my mother. Rest in peace, mom. Love you. But she was a very tortured soul in her embodiment. And I kept having these flashes of her just barging into my room as I'm playing, intoxicated, and it just getting ugly very fast. And I feel like that created a lot of confusion for this collective. And that can look like anything for anyone. That's just my example of this energy that we're picking up on. But more than anything, it just feels like joy was disrupted and that became a normal. And so your nervous system, to protect itself, learned vigilance. Okay. It learned to kind of be on the lookout, to anticipate. And so you're not blindsided. Right. And so this is a habit that has been lingering for a very long time. And if you feel like you access good feeling states, but then you find yourself like spiraling into disappointment or some kind of negativity later on, or you just start to feel kind of like low energy later on, this is a part of why that is. And it's not a sign of failure. You're not doing it wrong. Your nervous system is just it's still in protection mode. It's still questioning like, are you sure? Like, are you sure it's okay? Are you sure something's not going to pop out and go boo, And so here's something that came through. This is where today the message really needed to come through. So surrender versus force. This is we're experiencing a lesson in surrendering, and we're actually being taught through this experience the discernment between when we're surrendering and when we're forcing. Okay. So for instance, when this feeling of feeling off comes in, here's the distinction that spirit gave me. You're forcing, you can tell you're forcing because as soon as you feel that disharmony inside, your mind goes, okay, start visualizing, start thinking different thoughts, start trying to change how you feel, get out of this feeling, right? That's a sign that you're actually forcing. And surrender is saying, how about we actually, first, before we visualize, first, before we, start thinking all these different thoughts, why don't we pause and actually visit this feeling in the body? Okay. Because really our emotions are not enemies. They're not a problem to fix. They're not something that you need to fear or try to run away from at all. Your emotions are guides. And I was hearing this message that and this is specific, this is especially for those of you who have been accessing higher feeling states, okay? More like juicy, joyful feeling states, specifically for you guys, okay? This heaviness that you find yourself back in, there's something in that. Like there's something that when you drop into that feeling, instead of ruminating in the story that that is associating itself with that feeling, but instead when you get into the somatic feeling, the sensations in your body, there's something that's happening in that process. And now, okay, so here's what I wrote down. Stop trying to change how you feel. Life is moving through you. Allow it, because this feeling, I think I like jumbled up my words here a little bit, but when you're avoiding, because this feeling, when you're avoiding feeling it, okay, the mind starts to try and process it, which turns into stories. So if you're finding that the noise is getting loud when you're in this feeling state, this heavier state, it's because your mind is trying to process it and you're not actually allowing the feeling to complete its own process, its own cycle. And you end up, and what happens is you end up deciding from this, I'm not supported. Like that's the thought that came through. That's the belief that came through. I'm not supported. I must not be supported. But this feeling, this heaviness is not the reason why you're thinking that. It's not the reason why you're believing that story. The reason why you're believing it is because you're avoiding the feeling. So I really want you to pay attention to that distinction by avoiding sitting in the feeling, okay? By avoiding addressing it, walking up to it head on. Your mind is trying to fix and solve the problem of the feeling, and it's does that by telling stories. And the story is I'm not supported, I must not be supported. I'm doing something wrong or my life is not improving, blah blah blah, something like that. Okay? So the invitation and is to close your eyes and literally go into that feeling. Okay? Go into that feeling. And this is actually gonna connect you to your sense of safety as well. And now I'm hearing also just tap if this is really intense. Like if you're in the level of this that it's a bit overwhelming, do some tapping while you're feeling. But don't do it from the intention of I want this feeling to go away. I want you to be aware of that thought. If you're having that thought, make this go away. I need this to go away. Because you can handle this feeling. Okay? There's something happening within this emotion in your body, and you bringing your conscious awareness into that feeling is the medicine right now. Okay. But tap if it's intense, because I understand that. I understand that when we're first going through this process, it can be hard to trust that it's safe to feel. All right. And so the tapping while you're feeling it tells your nervous system, I'm safe while I feel this. And that gives your body permission to actually relax into it. So that way the emotion can do the work it's here to do on you. Okay. Or within you. So go into that feeling, because here's the thing, there are changes that are attempting to unfold through you, but they have to unfold through you. They're not going to unfold around you until it happens through you first. And the thing is this isn't going to happen by force. And I feel like this collective that I'm speaking to, we're leaving behind the behavior, the pattern of using visualization, using manifestation to try to fix something out here. And instead, we're now using those tools to basically align ourselves with the state that we want to be in now, regardless of what's going on out here. Does that make sense? It's like instead of visualizing to make something happen, we're visualizing to feel it happening now in our bodies. And we're using the symbol of the thing, the desire. We're using the symbol to access the state, because the mind works in symbols. The subconscious mind operates in symbols. So we're not, but I think for a while we've been kind of confused in this process, and we've been thinking I need to do this to get this, and it's like no, you need to do this to remember that you already have this, because ultimately we want what we want because we want to feel a certain kind of way. You know what I'm saying? And if that is like not hitting for you, this message might not be for you right now, or check in with your resistance, I guess. But I feel like those who this message is really meant to be for, I feel like this is gonna make sense to you on some level, and you're gonna know what to do, and you're gonna be like, oh my god, okay, okay, hold on, I need a sip of my coconut matcha. Hold on. I've been excited about this. I was letting it cool down. Oh, excuse me. Okay. So I wanted to pull a card. I have my deck reset, but I will say when I was resetting my deck, the tower was on the back, if you guys can see that. And I don't feel this energy of like destruction in the dramatic sense. I just think this is kind of what it can feel like at times. You know what I mean? But let's get some clarification. Source, is there anything else this collective needs to know from you? Anything else this collective needs to hear from you about this surrender and force and what they're feeling? Mm. Yeah, it's showing me. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. So we have the Nine of Wands and then we have the Ten of Swords and the Strength, but there's something in this imagery. I want you to really see this. Look at how their backs are facing each other. And we've got the mind here and we've got identity. We've got the fire, the spirit. I just think that imagery is so powerful. So with this Nine of Wands, there's like, okay, I love pulling up. I was just looking up the Tree of Life symbolism because I love looking at it. I love looking at tarot through that lens. I think it's a richer kind of perspective. So with nines, I was in nines. This speaks to foundational energy, subconscious dreams, emotional memory, energetic imprinting. Okay. And the thing that is loudest to me is like memory in the body. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. So, the reason why we're being called to go into the actual sensations of the emotion, okay? The reason why you're being asked, don't turn away from this feeling. Don't try to think your way out of this feeling. Don't try to visualize your way out of this feeling, is because there's like an emotional memory in the body that is kind of, I just heard the word distorting, and then that the 10 of swords, that's where that really starts to make sense. There's this emotional memory in the body that's distorting your perception of yourself, and it has been. This is a pattern. The 10 of swords coming out in this feels like the word completion, okay? But essentially you going into that with your conscious awareness, it's, you remember earlier I said there's like this, it's going to do something with your safety. It's going to stimulate this sense of safety with yourself. And it's like what I heard though was you taking your conscious awareness and your compassion, okay? Presence and compassion, taking it and going into that space and loving that part of you, loving yourself in this moment just as you're feeling. Oh, yes. I felt that circle in my belly. I felt it like spinning. Yes, this part of you, this pain, this emotional kind of offness, it's a part of you that wants you to come to it, sit with it at the fucking table, hold its hand, and tell it you love it and that it can be here just as it is. And I know that can sound counterproductive or counterintuitive, but that right there is so medicinal to the spirit and to the body. And, I've had many experiences like that myself where I've really just sat in the emotional discomfort instead of listening to the stories or instead of, trying to fix anything. And I've just been in the pain and it sucked. It sucked for a few minutes. But as I offered myself love in that, it strengthened my relationship to myself and it gave me this sense of strength, which is funny because literally on the back of the deck is the strength card. And look, if you look at this, you've got this like same kind of design happening here. Only now it's like big and it's huge. It's like the landscape is so similar. Like, do you guys see that? And strength. Let me see here. Yeah, strength in the tree of life perspective, it's this like intersection between courage and force, hello, and then compassion and mercy and heart and soul. And it's like integrating all of these things. It's, let me see. Yes, compassionate authority. compassionate authority, um, emotional steadiness, grace under pressure, grace under pressure. That's what you're being, that's what's, that's what you're being asked to do here of yourself. Like this is just a mirror. I'm acting as a mirror to your subconscious mind here, to your divine connection. Okay? I'm not saying anything that your body doesn't already know. I'm simply being a spotlight, if that makes sense. And there, this Ace of Cups sitting here underneath the Strength card feels so important to me. It just feels like, it feels like a heart opening. It feels like this is kind of the bridge. You meeting yourself in this way is kind of the bridge to you finally opening up your heart to really receive and really feel safe to bask in the goodness that you can now cultivate. Because I feel like whoever I'm talking to, you know how to make yourself feel good. You know how to do that. Sustainability is the issue. Sustainability has been the challenge, right? And this, your body's trying to help you get there. And it's not trying to stop you, even though it seems like it. It seems like, well, this emotion keeps getting in the way. Well, no, this is just a layer of it that you're being asked to meet deeper. You're being asked to meet yourself deeper. So that way life can really like reflect this part of you. So that way you can really see yourself from this. The word coming to mind is richness. And I don't mean in the materialistic way. I mean in the, like that feeling when you just, when the sun is shining just right and the sky is this like beautiful clear blue and the breeze is nice, the air is cool, like there's no humidity. Like this is just the scene coming to my mind. And it's just like pristine, and you just look around and everything just feels alive. And you notice the way the sun is hitting the blades of grass, and you just, everything just feels like, I'm hearing the word jewels. Like I don't know, I don't I don't know how to articulate this feeling, but it's this sense of richness that doesn't come from anything other than your perception, your inner orientation. And so yeah, that's the big thing here is surrender to this feeling that you're experiencing right now. And, meet yourself with compassion. And if you want to do that with tapping, it's simple. Just even though I feel this feeling in my belly, describe it wherever it is, whatever, however it's showing up for you. Even though I feel this heaviness, even though I feel off and I don't feel as good as I want to feel right now, I know there's a part of me that needs some love. I know there's a part of me that just needs me to be there with it, with compassion. And I'm going to do that now. And I deeply and completely love and accept myself just as I am. And that really, that's the best thing you could probably say to this part of you is just take your mind to it. I love you and I accept you. I love you and I accept you and I'm here with you. I'm not going anywhere. Because there is this sense, like I feel like whenever we're trying to make ourselves feel better too soon, you know, this is a part of the process of feeling better, by the way. But I feel like when we try to put ourselves in a different mental space before fully processing what's going on in the body, it kind of almost reinforces that old abandonment wound. Like, why aren't you staying with me? Why are you leaving me? Am I too much? I feel like these are some of the subconscious questions that come up. And this is the antidote to that. This is the opportunity to say, no, I've never been too much. I think you also we learned not to sit with ourselves because no one modeled that to us. Like nobody met us at the level that we needed in the moment. And now we're having to learn how to do that on our own. But that's a gift too, because there's like this, we're accessing it from this well of the infinite. I know that can sound kind of vague and lofty, but we're realizing that other people aren't the source of our love or our fulfillment. Other things, money, all this stuff, it comes from our relationship to ourselves in this moment right now. So I think that's all I've got for you guys, though. I think that's the message. And yeah, I'm here to support you any way I can if you guys feel called to reach out to me. But yeah, all right. I love you guys. I'm going to go and continue feeling my feelings today. And I'm going to let my body guide me. I'm going to drop in and feel. I've been doing this before I even hit record on this. And I'm going to just let that process show me the way to my next step. And if the next step is to visualize, to imagine, to dance in my imagination, then so be it. But if it's not, if the next step is just to be here with myself while my body is processing and doing what it's doing, then that's what I'm going to do today. And I'm going to take it easy with myself. So I invite you to do the same. And also, actually, one last thing that just came through. This is actually the results. What you're going through right now is actually the results of something that you did working. Okay. Because I feel like someone's like, is it working? Is this thing working? Is things, is my life shifting its momentum? And it 100% is. But you're not alone in this. You don't need to control anything. You need to work, you need to participate with life. And your job in participating with life right now is to surrender to it, to surrender to what's going on in your body. Okay. So drop out of the head, get into the body, and feel. And clarity is going to follow that. But okay. I love you guys, and make sure you're subscribed. I'll see you guys in the next message.